All right, can y'all hear me okay? We are trying a different process and I feel a little jumbled over here. I want to make sure you can hear me. All right, can y'all hear me okay? We are trying a different process. I guess y'all can. Perfect, Dragon Man. Thank you so much. Man, sometimes it's tough with technical stuff this early in the morning. I hope you are doing well. What an amazing earnings blowout last night. That was crazy. I was just drooling over Google's $50 billion buyback on Tuesday, and then Apple goes and announces a $90 billion buyback. Just amazing. Awesome. Thanks, Robert, Raj, Chris, Alexander, Majhed, Crypto Juggler, Yune, Michael, Ben. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Frank, hi. How are y'all? I'll get started in just a minute. Here are my chart settings. If you want to take a screenshot of my settings. The yellow candles are just inside bars showing inside range of the mother bar. So we have a mother bar right now, for example, on ES. We have this mother bar here with a range high of 4206 and low 4203. And now we have this yellow bar. This range is within the preceding 15-minute candle. Hey, Luzmar, Mustang, J-Man. All right, I'm going to delete the indicator callouts. So I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys. We do technical analysis. We do it, we teach it, we share it. We have a thriving community where we share setups, share ideas, share tips and tricks. And I started the pregame show along with other chart guys a few weeks ago just so we can get prepared for the day. We go over the Fab 4 futures. We go over a couple of the commodities, some crypto space, and then movers and shakers of the day. The movers and shakers could be names that have news. It also could be names that just have technical setups. Every day when we prepare, we may find some really clean and clear setups that we can take if they set up in the day. Or we may find no setups and where we just kind of review where things are and then we just collectively sit on our hands. So either way, we'll get prepared for the day. So let's get started looking at SPY. SPY really liked Apple's earnings. So we have a new all-time high right here, right now at 4207.75 is the new all-time high. Let me pull some fibs here, just so we can at least get some targets. So when pulling a fib, just from the most obvious swing high to swing low, it's not an exact science. Some would argue that it is. So there's really nothing. Let me do the most current swing high, swing low. Hit auto. So 4203.25 is that target. So the next target at the 1.618 fib extension is up at 422.850. So right now, looking bullish is the only way to look for today. I mean, price action would really have to fall apart and we'd have to lose structure on a lot of things. Why is this more bullish today than what it was, what was that, 2 weeks ago with Bank of America and Goldman Sachs with great earnings? Well, QQQ is the largest sector within SPY. Apple's one of the largest holdings. Facebook's one of the largest holdings. So when we have QQQ so super strong, it gives me even more bull leaning for the day because we have the largest sector acting as the strongest today. So as you can see in our Fab 4 futures, we have Nasdaq as the strongest, then Russell, then ES, and then Dow. So there's so many different things that go into price action, too many variables that for any of us to understand. So right now the market is breathing a sigh of relief that Biden didn't say anything last night that just sent everyone reeling. I didn't listen to it, not for any particular reason, but I don't know I haven't heard that he said taxes are an absolute hike 40%, 43% is gonna happen. So he didn't say anything that spooked the market. We have some large earnings, they're over with. We had Jay Powell yesterday, he didn't stumble on his words. So we have a lot of things where the market is just doing a like a collective sigh of relief and saying, okay, we can really go up now. And that's what I feel in the market. So our key support on shorter term time frame, 4204.75, 4203. Nasdaq, man, what a beautiful chart. So we have a 4-hour squeeze. You'll hear me talk about the squeeze. That just means that we have price compression that has happened. It has stored a lot of energy and is looking to release that. So 14050 is your next key resistance, then 14052. So 14,050, 14,052. Shorter term time frame support is down at 1402445. Excuse me, 1402425. 1402075 is your next support. So we have a trend trade. A trend trade just means we have candle closes above the shorter term time frame EMA. And right now, any touches back to the 8 EMA are viewed as a buying opportunity at the moment. So hourly inside bar on NQ as well. So where do you enter, Mike? If you don't have a position and it just keeps running without you, then it just keeps running without you. Then you have JOMO, joy of missing out. Because what if we were just sitting here today, Mike, and everything had fallen apart? We woke up and Tim Cook just really missed everything, and Apple earnings are down 10%, Facebook's down 10%, Nasdaq's down 10%. Then we'd be sitting here crying. So yesterday, to take an earnings position, you had to be okay with it gapping down on you. So I have JOMO this morning. I have the joy of missing out. Things are running without me, but I prefer this feeling of being a non-participant, let's say in Nasdaq right now. I have JOMO, joy, that I'd rather just watch other people make money and know that I didn't lose money, and then I will find my opportunities. There's plenty of If this was all waves, okay, so I've never surfed before in my life, but if these are all waves, Apple was a wave, Facebook was a wave, Shop was a wave, you can't catch them all if you're a surfer. You're just out there, you're waiting for your wave. You can't catch them all. You can't touch all the water. So just remember that in trading. So you wait for a pullback, you look for an opportunity to get in, and if you don't, you just wave at it. Just wave. So on RTY, shorter term support is down at 2315 and 2312. I like the squeeze on IWM daily. To me, this is an opportunity. This chart is really setting up in a bullish way. We had a lot of people, including myself, that was being very cautious of potential head and shoulders. It is not playing out. It's actually playing to the bullish side. And I got to remember to tell y'all something on Shop. But overall, this is a very constructive pattern. We do have declining bull volume. I'd like for it to kind of bull volume to kind of pick up a little bit. But on RTY, we haven't missed the boat. We haven't missed the wave. This could be our wave. RTY hasn't taken off. It is not an all-time high territory like ES. This could be an opportunity. Dow is a little sad this morning. We had Caterpillar with not so great earnings or guidance. I'm not really sure. I didn't really study it. 33842 is your support, then 33835, resistance 33912, then 33938. So Dow is definitely the saddest and the weakest this morning. This could be a little 15-minute head and shoulder setting up, so be careful there on any of your Dow components. Gold, I was looking at it this morning. It looked like a potential bear flag forming, but we've bounced enough to set room, make enough space for a higher low relative to 1771. We have a little double bottom here, 1771 and 1770. Man, did that bottom fish work out yesterday, huh, guys? We were looking at this 1760, 1761 here. We talked about it. It happened right at pregame yesterday. We discussed it, and look at that move. I hope somebody got a piece of it. Sometimes when I outline or highlight these setups. There's so much more that goes into it. Highlighting a setup is 1% of the actual successful trade. It's your execution, your psychology, you kicking your own psychological demons. There's so many other things that go into a trade. If I give you a setup, that's 1% of the larger success and execution and all the components that make it up. But beautiful move on gold. Support 1774, 1771. Resistance high of this move 1779, 1781. Okay, I have dogged on oil and dogged on oil. I did not like it being in no man's land over here. It's setting up for a pretty move right here. So we have OPEC out of the way. So shorting oil or even going long oil while we have OPEC news hanging over our head is not always the best move. So we've got that out the way now. We have a daily higher high, higher low. We have a change in structure that's clear. We have elevated volume that's picked up. So today we have Nat Gas Inventory. Today's Thursday, right? Yep, Nat Gas Inventory. So that's just something to remember. Parabolic trend trade on oil. So when oil goes up, it can also boost the market. Just something to know in your correlation pair. I was thinking of something yesterday. I was thinking about correlations, and Dan really talks about correlations a lot. So if you have price that hits 2 times and rejects, and that third time, you could say, okay, well, that happened twice. It has a high probability of happening again on a trend line rejection. Same thing happens with correlations. If oil goes up and then the market goes up, then you could say, okay, well, those correlations are working together. It keeps happening. It's repetition. So it has a recurrence of it happening. So I can count on that correlation until I can't. And I think correlations can be tricky. Use them as long as they're working, and you can get a lot of good trades off of it. I know that Dan, I'm going to type this out because I really think it's a learning opportunity. GDX and gold. GDX has been front running gold moves. So GDX, you'll get GDX with a bull move, and then gold will be a laggard. Then it'll get a bull move over here. So front running, looking at GDX, then front running gold has been working, and the same thing to the downside. GDX has been giving you a heads up. Of course, gold and GDX, 99% of the time, they move in lockstep, but sometimes there's laggards. So looking for those type of clues and contextual clues will help your trading. I hope that made sense. Sometimes things make sense in my brain, and then when I say it out loud, I don't know that it did. 64.90 is your support. 64.63 on oil for a shorter term time frame. Man, beautiful move. Your next resistance, 65.34 here. And I would watch your XLE names like Exxon, Chevron, Valero. Watch those names today. With SPY strong and oil strong, you need those two going together. XLE and XOP names can benefit. Let's go look at crypto. Oh, awesome, Davey baby. I hope you got it on CGC. And I have to give credit to the marijuana room and chart guys. I'm not always up on marijuana personally, or in the trading profession. Maybe one day I'll try it. But the marijuana room, I monitor that. Dan gives us heads up. We got Pedro over there. We got Bird over there, and they are in the know. So it kind of makes me look smart when I go read their notes and then just, parrot them back out. So on Bitcoin overall, let's look at the 4 hour. When you have something that trades 24 hours a day like Bitcoin, the hourly chart just doesn't give me enough data. I like to look at the 4 hour chart. To me, that's the equivalent of the hourly chart for a regular SPY stock like Amazon. 4 hour chart gives us more context. We have a 4 hour inside bar resistance 54748, support 53800, resistance 56476, support 53535. So let's look at Ethereum. Man, this is such a beautiful move. And here's another thing. I followed Dan on this move. I was not completely current. When I have a lot of personal things going on, I like to just step away from the computer on Saturdays, Sundays, and sometimes I lose my crypto bearings. So I just kind of jump in the crypto room and see what's going on. And I was able to grab this move. We have an hourly bull flag that has confirmed support 2755.82. 270801. This is a perfect example of what an Apple chart could look like, a Facebook chart could look like, Nasdaq. What do you do when something's running without you? You buy on pullbacks near support, and in this case near EMA. You just buy it on pullbacks. Look how that's been working with Ethereum. So as long as we have candle closes above the key moving averages, and identify the key moving averages as the 8 and 21 EMA and my 50 moving average simple. Look at that 4-hour trend trade. On the 4-hour, you could have bought any touchback and been A-okay on Ethereum. Man, that's pretty. Let's get some fibs on Ethereum because I know a lot of y'all are trading it. Oh, wow. 281109. Okay. I may trim here. I'm going to watch price action, but this may be an area to trim on Ethereum. I'm going to save this. I love to go and reflect back. I just learned how to play poker last November, but for me, this is like seeing a lot of poker hands. Every time I see a chart setup, a Fibonacci setup, a fib pull, and it works, a squeeze, then I'm like, okay, I'm filing that in my memory. So this is interesting. I want to see if this works here. 281109 as potential fib resistance on Ethereum. There's no reason to jump out of any bull trade. I would stay in it as long as we have candle closes above those EMAs. Let's look at the movers and shakers. Apple with a $90 billion buyback. I can't say the curse words that I read about Apple, but basically Tim Cook, he took over with the M1. Semiconductor shortage, processor chip shortage in the market is such a huge thing, and Tim Cook just said, okay, I'll take care of it myself. We'll build our own. Man, so he doesn't have the supply chain interruption that so many other companies, thousands of companies are dealing with. He's not dealing with them. Support 136.60, 136.45. Resistance is up at 137.71 and 137.72. What to do if you don't have this position? You could buy it on a pullback. I like visualization. I like to visualize my EMA. So 135.51 price action. Anywhere from there up to 136.14 could be a good area to buy Apple on a pullback. I don't like Apple as much. It's not as flashy. I don't get the high beta moves like I do with Shop or Amazon. However, this could set up for a great trade. I would not step in front of this train. It feels like a monkey butt scenario, and by that I mean it feels extended. But look at what Apple did going into earnings, straight, just sideways. Look at this. Look at this sideways action. So it has room. It's not in blue sky breakout, but it does have room. I need to go a little faster. So overall, Apple has room. And I hope everybody took heed of the warning on AMD yesterday. We talked about AMD running so hard. You see the difference? Look at that run and then look at that fade. I hope some of you caught that. I was focused on Shop and Google, so I didn't catch that drop yesterday, even though I talked about it. Man, that was a pretty great. So do you see the difference there? Now look at Apple. Look at Facebook. Do you see the difference here? Facebook killed earnings, absolutely killed earnings. So we have resistance of 315.88 all-time high. We are boogieing our way through that. See if any fibs can help us here. Your next target, nope, 347.98 would be the next target. Support 330.70, 328.50. So I'm glad I did that little pull. I'm going to leave this on the chart too. 328.14 is a former 1.618 resistance. So if price were to come back into that area, it could be a buying opportunity. So on all of these, you can go into alerts and say, this is my RSI, CM, ultimate, whatever RSI. Tell me when it crosses 30. So you go to the 5-minute chart over here and say, tell me when it crosses RSI, create. It's going to warn me that mine repaints. But basically, you see this orange line down here? That is a warning now. So if Facebook gets oversold on the 5 minute, I don't even have to have the chart pulled up and I'm going to get a warning. I'm going to get an alert. That's how you trade these things. Look for the first 5 minute oversold. However, with Facebook, I don't know that it'll get that far, but if it were to pull back in the 328 area, that could be a buy. All right, a line, obviously straight teeth are a thing. Sideways, sideways, sideways action, and then we popped. So we have very low pre-market volume here. 611.65 is your key support, and resistance 645 and 648. This thing can really boogie when it gets going. Amazon having some sympathy move. Here's my problem with Amazon now. Look at this. Doesn't that look like AMD? It's moved really fast and really hard on that stock split news, on Google sympathy, and now Apple sympathy. You know, there may be some profit taking before earnings. So watch Apple 5 minute today. Amazon, if it were to lose this uptrend, it may be a short opportunity. The problem is it's tough to short with options because they're so expensive leading into earnings after hours. Cake is having a positive move. 59.88, former resistance, could serve as support. If it were to pull back that much, though, it probably wouldn't have a lot of gas in the tank. Now that I look at it, I'm not as excited about it. 62.05 is your support, then $60 psychological, 58.92, resistance 64.20, 64.50. GRTX on the move with pancreatic cancer therapy news. This has been in a huge downtrend. When you see a chart like this, I want you to just look at the baggage overhead. Imagine these suitcases that are going to bonk you in the head when you try to get up there. So just remember that. All these people that were holding from back here, they are so ready to hand off their luggage to you. So just remember that. It will be a fade opportunity, however, eventually. But right now, great price movement. 874, 878 are your supports, and $10 is your resistance, then 1010. NOK, Reddit name, they did well on earnings. Your next resistance is up at, wow, 514, 508 and 514, former resistance. Support 485, 484. This could be a gap and go. So we're going to gap up above yesterday's close. So we have the Taylor Swift blank space. So we have this gap now. We're gapping up. This could be a gap and go, which means there's gap and craps and gap and goes. This looks like it could be a gap and go because of the significant volume. This is huge volume. This ain't Sally, Susie, Johnny buying, or who's in the room. Michael, Benjamin, Tony, Davey, that y'all ain't the ones buying it. This is some big money coming in. So just watch. NOK, Tesla. Remember, earnings are out of the way for Tesla, so now it's somewhat boring. So it may not give you a lot of volatility today. 703, 703.40 support. Resistance support 698 and 698. Wait, try again, Lori. 698 and 692.21. We are testing the daily 50 MA. Any buy above 691.80. I mean, it could be a swing opportunity. And then finally, SPY. And then TCG members can head on over and listen to the dens over in the room. You have resistance up at 620. I'm just making stuff up now. 420.44. Support 419.92. 419.80. And 418.11. So that's your levels for the day. You can take a screenshot if you'd like. How to trade SPY today is I would buy a pullback. Otherwise, I can't trade it up here. I just can't. It's in the nosebleed section. All right, Clove can make a move. You're welcome, Rob. Pins resistance. Okay, 1 second. Pins had a huge fade yesterday, 67.35, this pre-market move, and then 67.73. All right, anything else that I missed? That's right, Flash Gordon. All right, that's it. All right, y'all have a